I see you grooving over there.
Good morning, Miss Glam Squad, because that's what we're talking about off the jump, because Harry Douglas and I minding our own business, and all of a sudden Michelle Smallman comes running in with a cadre of people behind her, making sure, HD, that she was going to look her best, because she always looks her best no matter what. But even Harry Douglas was saying, where's my Glam Squad when I visit New York?
Yeah, Freddie, I come to 7 Hudson frequently, and I don't have a Glam Squad. But here I got Michelle Smallman, so, you know, when you at a certain level, you have a Glam Squad.
Very true.
Must be the money, like the song just said, Michelle. Must be the money.
I don't know if it's the money, guys, or the fact that you two, to quote the wonderful Beyonce, you guys just wake up like this. You wake up looking gorgeous and camera ready.
Wow.
I do not. I do not wake up looking like this, so I need a full team to make sure I'm at least presentable for America.
Let's hold on a second. Let me see. Michelle Smallman already trying to butter up Freddie and Harry, and the show's not even 3 minutes in.
I knew she really wanted to join Freddie and Harry. I knew about the last few times that we filmed it on
That
this
is
show
true.
that she wanted to join.
But we love joining with Michelle as well, because who needs those bumps, though, in Evan Cohen and Chris Canty anyway?
Well, I'm really excited that you guys are here. We had so much fun the last time. We're going to have some fun today. But as we heard there off the top, you guys, somebody we've been talking about for months now, leading up to the draft, of course, with the dramatic fall to the 5th round, and now the speculation around when and if we're going to see him be the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, of course, talking about Shedeur Sanders. But as I mentioned, the Browns announced that they're expected to start him at quarterback for the team's preseason opener against the Carolina Panthers. Freddie, we'll start with you. What's your reaction to knowing that we're going to see Shedeur get out there and get his first crack at this thing?
Well, I'm glad for him, because a lot of people are going to tune in when they take on the Carolina Panthers in that preseason game. So I can't wait to see what the ratings are going to look like on the NFL Network, because normally early preseason games don't get that kind of stroke or have that kind of electricity. But if you're Shedeur Sanders, whatever that opportunity is going to be, you have a chance to take advantage of that. You have a chance, and we discussed this yesterday, Michelle, me and Harry, in terms of, and Harry made a great point in terms of what kind of exam is going to be out there for Shedeur Sanders. And I said, okay, well, what kind of questions are going to be on that exam from the coaching staff of the Cleveland Browns? So more than likely, he's not going to be the opening day starter unless things happen in front of him that he can't control, that puts him in that kind of limelight, and Cleveland's going to do their best to protect him. But that's what I can't wait to see. Not just what he looks like, but what is it going to look like from a play calling standpoint from the Browns coaching staff, even though more than likely he will not be the starting quarterback opening day.
And it's a big opportunity for Shedeur, and you got to take advantage of this opportunity when it presents itself. Now, because he is the starter for this first preseason game, has no bearing on him being the starter for the first week of the season. But at the same time, when you're a player, right, especially a young one, you want to take the information that you learn from the meeting room and go out there and be able to retain that information and do good on the practice field. Now you take that information that you've been able to take from the meeting room to the practice field to the game field. So all along up until this point in training camp, you've been doing quizzes. Now is the final exam. The game days for players, those are the final exams, right? Can you go out there and execute, number one? Can you project yourself in the huddle and command it? Do you have control at the line of scrimmage? Can you go through your reads quickly and swiftly, but also be accurate as a passer and really show that you can move the football for this team? It doesn't matter if you're with the 1s, the 2s, or the 3s. And I would say this about the Carolina Panthers. Y'all, let's not act like the Carolina Panthers was just the best team in the National Football League last year. So they're probably going to play some of their starters. Now, I don't have the direct word on that, but when you're last in just about every category defensively, if I'm Dave Canales for Carolina, I'm saying, hey, I need to play some of my guys and see how we have gotten better from last season to the players that we've added to our roster to right now. So if you're Shedeur, you say to yourself, man, if there's an opportunity, especially if I'm going against the number 1 defense for Carolina or some starters, I want to go out here and ball out and put some good film on tape.
Absolutely. And we keep saying this, but I'm going to echo this sentiment. He's got an opportunity to prove that he can do this. And it starts with this preseason game, right? Like you said, he's going to go out there. He's going to take the test. We're going to see if he is acclimating, if that calibration period is in full effect. And guys, with the injuries to this quarterback room, there's an opportunity for Shedeur Sanders here to separate himself. I know that we're talking about week 1 and speculating could he be the starting quarterback week 1 for the Browns. I still think they're going to likely roll with Joe Flacco because he's been there, done that. You don't want to throw Shedeur Sanders out there until he's absolutely ready to take the reins with this thing. But Kenny Pickett, injured, hamstring injury. He hasn't practiced fully since July 26th. Obviously, Dillon Gabriel, he's been limited too because he has hamstring tightness. And I know Shedeur Sanders was banged up a bit too, but back out there and reportedly getting the start. But guys, the cards could also fall in a way where not only is he getting the first crack at this to establish where he is in this race, but the fact that the people he's competing against aren't at full strength, Shedeur Sanders really has an opportunity to pull away here, or at least make himself really stand out as far as the conversation and the debate is concerned about who the Cleveland Browns should roll with moving forward.
We shouldn't be surprised by this because to bring some memory to everybody's memory, the Cleveland Browns have started 40 different starting quarterbacks since 1999.
Wow.
By the time the end of 2025 rolls around, Michelle Smallman could be a starting quarterback, Harry Douglas could be a starting quarterback. They may want to having the 43rd and 44th starting quarterback for this organization since 1999. This could be the only roster that would have right now 6 quarterbacks on their payroll. One that's not playing in Deshaun Watson. The 4 guys they have in camp right now between Kenny Pickett, Joe Flacco, Shedeur Sanders, and Dillon Gabriel. And then they signed Tyler Huntley because they, as Harry pointed out yesterday on our show, they need a training camp body just to be out there because these guys are injured involving Dillon Gabriel, Kenny Pickett, and they want to risk that with Joe Flacco. This is like the most Cleveland Brownsian thing regarding the quarterback position that we've seen since 1999 when they started almost 50 quarterbacks at that position since then.
Michelle, me and Freddie was laughing yesterday because I said to him, if there was one team going into training camp because the Cleveland Browns had 5, if you're including Deshaun Watson, that I felt like should not be bringing another quarterback, it was this exactly team and organization. That poor Tyler Huntley, man, really coming in there to be a camp body, man. I feel sorry for him because it's not like they're really going to give him an actual shot. And he was with the team previously, so the learning curve for him being able to learn Kevin Stefanski's system is not going to be at an all-time high. But at the same time, you say to yourself, man, I need to go out here and be amazing so I can put some kind of film together because I know there's no chance of me making this roster when they just drafted 2 guys, they traded for 1, and then you brought in a guy in Joe Flacco who was with them not too long ago and helped them get to the playoffs before losing to the Houston Texans. But I would also say this, if you're Shedeur Sanders, and I know this is his character, you never want to get a job because of someone's injury, but it's not your fault that someone has gotten injured. And you need to capitalize and take advantage. And Michelle, I'll tell you about, when I was in college back in 2000, I think it was 2005, the only reason why I started playing is because we had a receiver by the name of Broderick Clark get injured. And luckily that I prepared the same way as if I was the starter, and I knew every wide receiver position that I was able to fill in, and I never gave that job back. So if you're Shedeur Sanders, you take advantage of this opportunity. You can't help what's going on with somebody else's body, but you can help how you go out there and perform and how you conduct your business every day in that facility.
I love that thought process and that example, Harry. And as you were saying that, who came to my mind? Kurt Warner. If Trent Green doesn't get injured, is Kurt Warner given the opportunity to step in there for the Rams and ultimately win a Super Bowl? Probably not. And now we're talking about Tom Brady.
Well. Colin Kaepernick. I mean, Alex Smith gets injured for the San Francisco 49ers. When he was healthy, Jim Harbaugh decided to rock with him, and Colin Kaepernick was able to lead the San Francisco 49ers to that Super Bowl before they lost to the Baltimore Ravens.
Right. We have so many opportunities. Let's see if Shedeur Sanders is a name we can add to that list. But, guys, you were mentioning the fact that the Cleveland Browns have a lot of optionality in their quarterback room. But they're going to have to make some decisions moving forward about who they're going to carry, who they're going to let go. We had Adam Schefter join us yesterday, and we were asked about how the Browns are going to attack this.
I believe, talking to enough people around the league, that they're not going to, it's hard to imagine they're going to move on from one of the rookies. Now, one of them could be placed on IR. Like, who knows what's going to happen here, right? Like, Kenny Pickett's got hamstring tightness, and Shedeur's got a sore shoulder. Who knows? Hopefully everybody's okay, but maybe somebody winds up on IR. But I think the way things are tracking right now, I think it's tracking for them to keep 4 quarterbacks on their 53-man roster when final cuts are made later this month.
Is that you laughing, Freddie?
Because I guess it shouldn't bother me. It's not my team, so what do I care if they carry 4 quarterbacks on their roster? But play with Uncle Freddie here right now. Play with Grandpa Freddie right now when it comes to this. What happens if they don't believe in the guys they have? When they drafted Dillon Gabriel in the 3rd round, They drafted Shedeur Sanders in the 5th round. What if they don't believe in these guys and this team goes 3-14, 4-13? They have the worst record in the National Football League, which means it's the hamster on the wheel situation again with the Cleveland Browns that maybe next year they get the number 1 pick in the draft. What if Arch Manning balls out with Texas? Because it seems more than likely that if he does that, he'll be the number 1 pick next year in the NFL draft. Or Garrett Nussmeier down at LSU. Or Cole Klubnik at Clemson. Somebody's going to have a quarterback quandary that they're going to want to fill one of those guys that are going to ball out next year. What if we're in the same situation next year with Cleveland? You drafted 2 guys within 2 rounds of each other. They're not working out, and you're drafting a quarterback again. So you're carrying 4 quarterbacks in your roster. It's like quarterback roulette with them right now. Let's see what we can throw out there, and hopefully the wheel will spin around in our favor, and we decide to play on black or play on red, and that's going to work. Why do they continue to do this to themselves, especially when it goes all the way back, guys, to that Deshaun Watson contract? When they signed him at the blame of Baker Mayfield for their problems in the organization, and they signed a $250 million close and guaranteed money. And it's the same thing all over again, the Cleveland Browns, throwing quarterbacks at the wall, hoping someone is going to stick. And it seems like this happens year after year, time after time, all over again.
Yeah, I feel like this is a hostage situation. You keep 4 quarterbacks on your roster so you don't put one of those young guys on practice squad and someone snatches them up. So you just keep them on your active roster. Now that bothers me, because what if one of those spots could be utilized by a player that's desperately needed on offense, defense, and special teams? But you're gonna carry 4 quarterbacks on your 53-man roster? I don't know when the last time that has even been done in the National Football League.
Yeah.
Like that makes no sense whatsoever to me. But, let's just say Dylan Gabriel is a guy that you want to put on practice squad, and you don't put him on practice squad because you're scared somebody else is going to snatch him up. Or let's just say a Shedeur Sanders, a guy who's leading in jersey sales right now when you talk about all the rookies that were drafted. What if you decide to put him on practice squad? Do you think he's going to last for a week or 2 on the practice squad? I don't think so. So this is a hostage situation, Michelle Smallman. Call 911.
Oh, my gosh. Get the authorities involved. Absolutely, guys. Well, I'm really interested to see Shedeur Sanders. It is a storyline that we've all been paying attention to. Now, a storyline that we're forced to pay attention to is around the Dallas Cowboys. I feel like I cannot escape Jerry Jones. I cannot escape talking about the Dallas Cowboys. So guess what we're going to do next? We're going to let you hear some more Jerry Jones sound, because it's another day. It's another headline for the Dallas Cowboys. He's Freddie Coleman, Harry Douglas. I'm Michelle Smallman. It's in Sportsmanlike. We'll talk about that next. But first, I want to